Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Aries from Aries Game Productions, and as you can see, we actually have a little bit of a change on my little profile thing here. It is the little avatar for the Dragoon class in Final Fantasy XIV, and you can just get it just by playing the game. So if you have like a class that you see and you want to put on your PlayStation Network thing, then you can definitely do that. Of course, your boy is rocking Dragoon, and have some other classes that I am got to about level 50 or 60. The highest class right now I have for 14 is Dragoon at level 63. I think the second highest is Dark Knight at level 60. And then I've got some other ones that are there: Samurai, Gunbreaker, Paladin, Red Mage, and I think that's it. But yeah, the game is just taking up like most of my time, which is why I haven't really streamed a lot, because I've been really saving some of my streams for just the reviews, for me going through the story just kind of like by myself, and with like some others, and like Professor Diehard's already gotten onto the Final Fantasy hype train for 14. I kind of convinced him to put a lot of his time into there. His ninja's pretty high level. He's got level 54 or 55, I think, ninja, which is pretty sick. Ninjas are awesome. But really just wanted to do kind of my review of the actual like story for Final Fantasy XIV. I might make another video after this going over Dissidia, since I kind of just ended up joking around with Dissidia a little bit today, and do a final tier list of Dissidia that I think, since I don't think they're actually going to come out with any DLC characters anymore after this. Dissidia kind of, I think, has run its course with the characters, so it's going to be extremely interesting to kind of go over my tier list of that, and just talk about each of the characters going down from their type, and then just their, I mean, really just the movesets and everything. But I'll do that after this video, so just if you guys want to watch that video, it'll be on my second video I'm going to make after this. But Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. So my review for Realm Reborn was kind of just like, it was still good, but there's just a lot of stuff in Realm Reborn that they probably should go ahead and try to take out again to make the game flow a little bit smoother. Realm Reborn kind of has you going just all over the place, and with Heavensward, it doesn't. The story never really feels like that. The story feels a lot more coherent. It feels a lot more engaging. And I should probably say, since my review of Heavensward is going to have a lot of spoilers to it, you should definitely get into Realm Reborn. But I'm not going to do the spoilers for Heavensward until I get through a Stormblood, and it's going to be the same thing for this video. I'm not going to talk about the actual stuff for Heavensward until you have finished Realm Reborn. So some of the stuff we're talking about in Realm Reborn, you definitely need to actually watch the story for it, and the ending especially, to get what's happening in Heavensward. But as far as the overall story goes, you know, it picks up right where Realm Reborn left off, where the big coup happens. You're fleeing to Ishgard. They're the only people that will take you in. I think it's Harchfont or Lord Archfont or whatever it is his name is. He basically says, okay, well, they're not going to touch you. Like, you can stay here. We're going to get you an audience to enter Ishgard and actually be into the city. And that's where, into the city, you can get a lot of your upgraded gear if you already have your level 50 stuff, and you're really needing some better gear. That's where you're going to go over to the Jeweled Crozier and get some better gear for yourself and for your class. You can get weapons too, and accessories, all the sort of other stuff that you would need. But it's really really interesting how they kind of just migrated you over from one area of the map, and you really start spending a lot more time in Ishgard. I mean, a lot more time. And the story itself is just fantastic. I mean, like, you know, the Realm Reborn stuff was good, but it's not nowhere near the level of storytelling that Heavensward has. And that's why I'm really interested to get into Stormblood and start seeing the story for that too. I'm actually off of my job for next week, so a lot of that is probably going to end up being me playing that and trying to get through, you know, a good bit of the story that way. But the story is fantastic. The fights are fantastic too. You get new abilities for your Heavensward stuff up to level 60, and Heavensward caps you out at 60. 70 is for Stormblood and 80 is for Shadowbringers, but it'll cap you out at 60 if you don't already have the Stormblood and Shadowbringers DLC purchased. It'll cap you out right there. So my recommendation would be just go ahead and get the game if you haven't already. Just go ahead and pay the price for it, because it's absolutely fantastic. Just for the story in general, even the writing is improved. There isn't a whole lot of like characters that you probably didn't really care for in Realm Reborn. A lot of that stuff gets fixed in Heavensward, and how like each of the characters are actually interacting from the ending of Realm Reborn to the very end of Heavensward. So Heavensward definitely is going to answer a lot of the questions that you have after getting through with Realm Reborn. Heavensward is also probably the best thing to have for getting you hooked onto the game and actually getting you to purchase the other expansions for it, because it answers a lot of questions that you probably have just from picking up Realm Reborn. If you already have the game, you have the free trial, you're getting Heavensward and Realm Reborn for free, and you can cap out 60, like I said. So there's really no reason to not even try it, to not even give it a try. Whereas in the story, Realm Reborn is really slow, as where Heavensward picks up really quick. And like, I was shocked at how quick it was just coming from Realm Reborn to Heavensward. But it picks up really nicely, and then you're still doing the job quests for your job. But the armor for the jobs in Heavensward are great. I mean, I have the level 60 ones for Dragoon and for Dark Knight, and it's just fantastic. They look great. Your movements don't really feel as clunky because you've got more tools at your disposal. So it really gets you a lot more in depth in the combat as well, because now you have more skills and you're using more skills for your rotation, like mixing in your GCDs with your OGCDs, and that's really going to help you a lot moving into Stormblood and Shadowbringers, because by then the game is expecting you to probably have a pretty good feel of combat by then. So a lot of the fights and a lot of the duties that you have in Heavensward don't pull any punches sometimes. Sometimes they're pretty hard, and you might end up dying a couple of times, like I have in some of the duties, because you just don't know what the hell you're doing or what the hell's going on. So, definitely a solid. I would give it probably an A or an A plus from Realm Reborn to Heavensward, just for the storytelling. The combat's still really good for the GCDs and the cooldowns and everything, so you don't feel like there's a whole lot of waiting time as much anymore from your skills, which is really good. It makes you feel like you're actually doing something in combat now, as opposed to probably Heavensward or Realm Reborn, where as soon as you hit 50, you're going to be using that same rotation until you get into Heavensward. So it helps you out a lot with the combat itself. With a lot of the quests, the quest lines, and some of the purple quests where you can go and unlock stuff in the game for it. I didn't do a lot of that in Realm Reborn, so I used Heavensward to go back and get some of it. Definitely don't do the mistake that I did. Do some of those purple quests, try to find some, do them, and it will help you out a lot if you're going to level up another job class. You might unlock like another dungeon that's like mid-level, or you might even unlock what I did was New Game Plus, which you can replay some of the quest lines from Rubberborn, or really any of them, for your New Game Plus. So definitely do that. I didn't even have the glamour settings until I got into Heavensward. I didn't even do the quest line for it, so I couldn't even get my gear looking sweeter than what it is, and I still really don't know how to do it. I'm gonna have to look at some guides on getting glamour and everything. But Heavensward does do a lot for the story. It does a lot for the actual mechanics of you fighting. It does stuff for the characters that are the main characters in the game, and then just the stuff that happens in the story with your character in general. I mean, you feel like a badass, and I know Shadowbringers, a lot of people said it makes you feel like 10 times more of a badass, and Stormblood's just kind of, you're already a badass and you're continuing to be a badass, but that's what it really feels like for the game itself. So really interested on continuing the Final Fantasy XIV journey, but that's pretty much it for my review. It's kind of quicker because my Remember Born review was probably just me more getting into the game, but now that I've actually gotten into the game and I know the mechanics pretty, not great, but I know they're pretty good not to die, and so we're gonna continue to do that. And if you guys haven't tried Final Fantasy XIV, now is the time to get into it, man. It's just now is the time. Like, it is definitely better to go ahead and try to do that. And there's really no reason to not do it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick review of it. Like I said, Heavensward, the story and stuff is great. I wish I could probably go into the story a little bit more, but it's definitely something that I feel like everybody should experience just on their own, or with, friends and stuff. If you're gonna team up with, a group of friends that are trying the game out with you, like I have. So, definitely do that. But if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next